Okay, looks like I'm live. Just let's see. Okay, hey, hi. Sorry about that little tech glitch. This is Hi, it's Cami here, and today is day 3 of your herbal story. Tracking your plant path. I'm doing a free 5-day series. Today's day 3. And so, yeah, if you're here for the third part of our series, this you're here. And the other two that we did the last 2 days, you can go back and find those when you can go and redo those and check those out if you like. So this is a free series that we've been doing in here, where we're just taking about 5 to 10 minutes and doing a, let's see, I'm looking at trying to see. Hey, hi. I got 3 screens going here. So if you find me looking around, that's what's going on here. And so we're just taking some time to do some fun memories and sharing of what our working with the plants has been. And if you're seeing this somewhere, other than my private Facebook page, My Herbal Kitchen, I'm going to be streaming there. You might want to get into the My Herbal Kitchen Facebook page or my YouTube channel. Or if you're watching on Instagram, the chat goes so fast in Instagram that I can't respond. But after this video is over, you can comment in the chat and I'm going to read everything. And I love to continue that conversation with you. Yeah, because the chats are just going way too fast. So, but hello, everybody. Welcome. Hey, Ashley. So this is, again, this is about you. I'm taking this time. It's a 5-day series to celebrate you, celebrate this amazing relationship with the earth that you are cultivating. If you're here with me on this page, you're a plant person and you're cultivating your relationship with the earth. And so my work is all for the past 30 years has all been all about helping my students deepen their confidence and knowing what it is they're doing and what feels most embodied to you. Herbalism is a big, wide world, and we're going to take some time and nurture this incredible path that you're on, for yourself, your people, and for the earth. And at the heart of herbalism is our relationship with the earth. And knowing that you are part of this movement to bring the voice of the earth to the table right now, it is so important. And so that's what this 5-day series is about. It's just really grounding into really, really getting it, how important what you are doing is. And so to review what we've done for the last 2 days, today's day 3. If you take time, just even to review briefly, you'll see back in part 1, we wrote about out the chapters, like what are the chapters of your herbal studies, like thinking of terms of like, when did you start? What are the high points? What are the turning points? I told stories about my turning points that where, I was going this way and then I was going that way. And it's all because of the plants that my life is what it is. The plants have guided my and informed everything that I'm doing right now in my life. Or people were talking about their early mentors and the people that planted some seeds with them, and then how you can be a mentor and plant seeds for the next generation. And then yesterday, day 2, we talked about in that story. And as you do this work, this story is going to continue to unfold in your consciousness. You'll be surprised. So get out your journal. And it's like all of a sudden you'll remember a second grade teacher that taught you something, or I had a memory of my fourth grade teacher talking to me about healthy food. I'd never heard of, like, what was wrong with the food that I was eating. And so again, yesterday we talked about, when were you most present? When were those moments that just stand out, that you have like tunnel vision, like, wow, I really remember this plant, right? Or this garden, or this person teaching me that. And yesterday I told some of my tunnel vision stories that were just so profound, that completely changed my life. Just one person talking to me about a plant completely changed the course of my life, right? And so yesterday again we talked about like what really drew you in, all right? And so today, we have the chapters. We have kind of like, yesterday it was like, what are those, like those moments where you just have tunnel vision. They're super define how the plants help define your life, okay? So if you didn't do yesterday, the day before's video, just think about those things. What are kind of the highlights of how you got to this point of loving the garden, or loving to cook with your herbs and spices, or listening to this video right now, or how many herb books do you have on your shelf? Tell me, do you have more than 5? No, really, how many herb books do you have? I want to know. Type in the chat. Yeah, exactly. A lot. So, but today, so what we're going to do, so I'm taking 5 days to kind of take us deeper and deeper into this process. And so today we're going to talk about, hey, our Adrian, nice to see you here. Hi. Yeah. So I want to know how many herb books you have. But today, 47. Right. I'm not going to show you my shelves. Maybe sometime I will, but not today. Um, 300. Yeah. But today, what we're going to do in this part is we're going to talk about who are your most beloved plants. Okay. So we started out talking about what are the chapters, who were your mentors, what part of the earth really grabbed you. Then it's like, okay, which part of this herbal journey really is guiding your life? How are the plants? You just think you're working in your garden and it's your decision, but it's not. It's the plants. The plants are living beings, right? And that's, we have to get back to remembering that our ability to really communicate and perceive communication from the earth and the plants is innate. It's part of being human, and our culture right now just doesn't acknowledge it, and it's been dumbed down and turned off. It wasn't nurtured as a children, but if we lived, a long time ago, if you weren't connected into the earth and the communication of the earth, you didn't survive, and that was weird, right? So it's just about reawakening that in us right now. That's a lot of what I work on with people, especially in my plant wisdom course. But today, so in this third part series, the journal prompt is, who are your most beloved plants? So let's just pick one, okay? What is your plant ally? Think of all the plants that you've worked with, or you've gardened with, or you've cooked with, or that you just love, right? This plant relationship is a continuum, okay? And there's so many chats coming in. I look forward, as soon as I get done giving you this journal prompt, I will come in and go through the chats and talk with you. I love this conversation, but I'm going to go through the journal prompts first, and then we can open it up. So this relationship that you have, maybe you're just like, oh my God, I've always wanted to get more into this, or oh, I'm just getting started. I wish I would have gotten started earlier. It's okay. Where you're at is fine, but your plant relationship, it's a continuum, right? And what I've been trying to do in this series is, like, when did it first start? And so now, what are your plant allies? Um, what plant just has you go, oh my gosh, I love that plant, right? It could be a plant from childhood. It could be a tree from childhood. It could be a plant that you fell in love with your garden. Like for me, I have gardenia planted outside of my door, and every day it reminds me of my mother. I love gardenia because it was my mother's favorite flower. The plants evoke so much more emotion than we realize, and the plants actually communicate through our senses and through emotion, okay? So, what are one or two of the most plants that you feel a beloved connection to? Okay, right? One that's maybe shown up for you the most, one that you work with a lot. And why is it so special? Think about it. What did you learn from that plant? How did it help you? What are you grateful for? How did it expand your awareness? The plants have expanded my awareness. I don't know where I would be in this life. They've changed how I smell, how I see, how I think. They have helped me so much. And so, what are you grateful for? And how did they expand your awareness, right? So, okay, yeah. Um, and the plants they just pull us on a journey, right? They do more than just take care of a cough, right? Or feed us dinner. They pull us along in this connection to our body, to the earth. They're the intermediary between the earth and our body, right? And so which just one, maybe there's a lot, but which one plant has really captured you? Okay. So I'd like you to put in yeah, so hawthorn, basil, rosemary. I want to hear if you feel like you have a plant ally, which plant has just captivated you? Tell us about just one of the plants that you love. Milkweed. I love milkweed. Oh, I love milkweed. It's great. Yeah, hawthorn, more hawthorn. Good. So so this is about think about the plants in your life, ones that you feel a deep emotional, a deep connection to, like a flower that reminds you of your mother, a spice that gives you the feeling of the holidays or something cozy, right? Again, there's so many plants that help remind us of what season it is and help us, stay connected to the turning of the wheel, right? And again, plants hold so much more emotion and connection than we often talk about or give credit to. So, again, today's journal prompt in this 5 day prompt or journal prompt series is: who are your best plant friends? And it could be, it could be beyond your herbal medicines. It could be a special tree or a favorite park. And if you've been working with the plants for a while, there's probably a lot of special plants. But if you want to go back even earlier, like what are some of your first loves, right? I do a lot of helping people reclaim their early plant memories because that holds a key to our ability to communicate with plants now. And I remember sitting in front of a honeysuckle bush covered with bees when I was like 3 years old, and I can still feel and smell that honeysuckle, and I love honeysuckle to this day. So when maybe it might be when you were a child, when you were first starting out, right? Maybe it was your first herbal tea. Maybe it was the first time you used an herb and it was like, oh my gosh, I just took care of something. I just helped somebody. I was first getting sick and now I'm not. Or you made that salve and it helped somebody, right? Helped somebody take care of that redness or that pain. Or it could be a plant that was an herbal remedy that you grew up with, maybe an herbal medicine that you maybe made a mistake with and you had to try and you had to learn and you had to try over and over. And then you developed a connection along the way. That happened to me with my herbal oils. Like I had made so many mistakes. I had so many moldy oils, and then it was like, oh, I cracked the code, and now and so I have a strong connection with those herbal medicines that I made a lot of mistakes with. And maybe it's just a tried and true herbal remedy that helps you or your family over and over and over again, right? So what spice stands out? That's what today's journal prompt, and I'm going to have you think about it now, but also you want to just think about your history with this, right? So, yeah, maybe it's even something bigger. Maybe it's an herbal oil that you make that helps calm anxiety, makes you feel more grounded in your life, helps you feel better, makes you feel like a better person. I mean, what plants make you a better person? I mean, just think that. We think we're doing this, a lot of us think we're doing it for a hobby, but the plants, they guide our lives. They do. They take us to places where we probably wouldn't have gone. They call us, they pull us along on a journey of abundance, of helping ourselves, helping others, right? And your herbal studies, it's not just for you. It's your community, it's your family, it's the culture, and we are better people because of how the plants guide us, right? So let's see: elderberry, lemon balm, mulberry, stinging nettles, wild chamomile. Michelle is saying, wild chamomile is special to me. It's the first herb my mom taught me to forage. I am also in love with cinnamon and rose petals and make a lovely chai. That's good. Okay, I missed a lot of comments here. Cinnamon, chives, elderberry. Nancy saying St. John's wort, one of my allies. Um, Carol says basil and rosemary. June is saying, I just put in 14 asparagus plants. Oh, I love asparagus. It's so good for you. So I have a story that there was one plant, and maybe it's a plant, yes, as time goes on, sometimes it's a plant that just serves you, right? So, I have comfrey. I've grown comfrey for 30 years, and I have hundreds of stories for my students and clients of how comfrey has helped them. And I know it's a great plant, but I like it. And then I really learned the value of comfrey, and I started paying a lot more attention to comfrey. I fell in love with that plant. So one time I was at a camp, kind of like a nature camp, traditional skills camp with my son, and I was running through a field, running. And then the next second, I wasn't running. I was laying on my back with my foot up in the air, screaming, at the top of my lungs, like screaming. And I have a high tolerance for pain. And I had my foot had just stepped right into a gopher hole, and it was just went yank. It just, oh my gosh, it was so painful. And I was in the middle of the woods, and I had to just lay there. And it was at the end of the day, we couldn't leave. We were in the middle of nowhere. We couldn't leave. We had to wait until the next morning. And so I spent the night in complete excruciating pain. And then we got out of there first thing. And as soon as I got home, I did a comfrey poultice, I did comfrey oil, and I did comfrey foot soak. I just put that foot in comfrey, wrapped it in comfrey. And in about 30 minutes, my pain was 60% less because of the comfrey. And I was so grateful that I kind of made a vow to Comfrey, like, "Oh, I promise to pay attention to you." So from that point on, I just really love that plant and paid so much more attention to it. So maybe so I'm telling you that story to help you jog more of your plant love memories. So yeah, so one special plant that has captured you. That's today's journal prompt. So we started with your chapters, the chapters of your story. Then we started to talk about like when did you really feel your soul? Like when was your soul really captured in this journey? And now today we're talking about, okay, now let's talk about one plant that's changed your life, that's turned something around, that's helped you feel better, that's become an ally, right? And then the next 2 days I'm gonna be meeting here tomorrow and the next day, going deeper with all this. And I love all these comments. It's so um, beneficial to see everything. Thank you so much for um, going through this. I recommend that you go through the first two prompts. And I'm going to be live here tomorrow and the next day. And I'm going to be live in my Herbal Kitchen Facebook group. And if you're on Instagram, it's really hard to catch the comments. If when the video's over, if you could leave me some comments, or tell me what your, and not just the plant, not just your plant ally, but how that plant ally became to be your plant ally. Because see, the plants, they are reaching out, they are leaning in right now. And the more that we can learn how to pay attention on a deeper level to their communication, to how they pull us along, the easier our communication with them goes and becomes. So that's one of the reasons why we do this. So what is the plant ally that really reached out to you, and how did it do that? Right, how did it do that? And also, I recommend you go over to CamiMcBride.com, my website, get on my email list, and I'll be sending out prompts for this series and the next series where I'm going to be doing a lot more plant wisdom communication work. And so let me see if I can try to catch the comments here in Instagram. Let's see. So Lavando says rose, strawberry, basil, aloe, cactus, lavender. Oh my God. I know it's hard to stop, right? Tammy is saying we have garlic mustard on our land. My husband absolutely hates it. I'm bound to determine to find something positive. Yeah, if it's all around you, right? And yeah, colt's foot in time for a cough. And yeah, I'm not. We're not doing like Keisha's asking about a health question. We're talking about your plant path, right? Your herbal story, tracking your plant path, and the chapters of that, where it began, the very beginning, where you feel tunnel vision to that, because that's when your soul really engaged with the herbs and the plants. This isn't just some random hobby. You are the person in your lineage and your family that's reclaiming this for your people, for your line, if it was disrupted, or you're the one carrying it on, right? You are the one. Not everybody in your family is a plant person. You are the one. Okay. And so we're taking time to really ground into that story and the value of that. Because see, I've been teaching herbal medicine since 1988. And one of the things, I've just watched this, that they grow. And one of the things that, so many of my students say is, oh, my grandmother had it, or my great grandmother had it, or my grandfather had it. But see, this gets lost in one generation. And you can lose this whole what takes generations to gather. And so we're taking this time to really ground into the value of being this bridge to the earth and healing our bodies with the medicine of the earth, and developing our and really cultivating and nourishing our reciprocal relationship with the plants, reclaiming that our covenants with the green world. Okay. And so unless we stop and, um, again, another thing I've heard from so many of my students over the last 30 years is, oh, well, my grandmother knew it, but nobody cared. Nobody paid attention. And unless we really care and bring it into our conversation, our language, the value of this medicine, of our folk medicine, of our herbal knowledge that flows within the household, in our communities, because the pharmaceutical campaigns, they're not going away anytime soon. Okay. We need to nourish and build and acknowledge the plant people in our lives. And so if you're here, you are that plant person. And so we're taking this time to acknowledge you. Okay. And so now we're looking at what is one plant that you feel an allyship with, that you feel like has gathered you up, that you always have with you, that has carried you somewhere in your life. Okay. So, yeah, this is Cami, and you were here with your herbal story, 5 days of tracking your plant path. And so Sheila's saying, so typing down if you, um, you could go back to yesterday's prompt of one memory where you just like you have tunnel vision to knowing that that was your plant, that you were on the right path, and that the plants were guiding you. And then today it's about which plant, what, not just which plant, but why is it special to you? How did it come to be that this plant really grabbed you, and you were smitten with it, and now you use it? How did that come to be? So Dorothy is saying cedar, and Aaron is saying I have a love affair with chamomile. And so how did that happen? Did you went to a forest one time, and the trees, just you felt protected by the trees, or I got a message from the trees? Erin says, love her joyful, cheerful energy. Cindy says, slippery elm. Yeah. How did you develop a relationship? How did slippery elm become your plant ally? Right? Usually it's because it helped you with something. So, yeah. So that's today's prompt. Um, think of your plant allies, and not just your plant allies, but how that came to be. How is it that the plants started to, this one particular or two particular plants, did it come to you in a time of need? Did somebody that you love expose you to this? Is it something that you used to cook around the holidays? Like Dorothy's saying, cedar can be, it's just such a grounding, cleansing, such a healing plant. And so, all right, so that's your journal prompt for today. So you probably have some good memories that have come up right now. Take this to bed with you, and I will be really interested to see what has come up. And so Dorothy say, I can always smell cedar when it's nearby, and then I go and find the tree. I spent 2 days and nights underneath the tree, and felt deeply nourished by a grandmother energy. And Carol's saying, I feel transported when I smell rosemary, and I use it for most of my dishes and use it in aromatherapy. It makes me feel good, impossible to describe. I became addicted. Cedar. Yeah, good. Okay, so take this to bed with you tonight, dream on it, and then see what other memories come up to you as to why and which plants have grabbed you, and how they've really shaped your life. The plants make us better people, and they shape our lives. And then the more conscious we are of that, then the more we can really speak about it in our culture and ground this, becoming medicine people, and people that we are the ones that bring the voice of the earth to the table. That's what we're doing here. And so Anne says, my healing plant is ashwagandha. Okay, so this was day 3 on this journal prompt series, and I'm going to be going live tomorrow and the next day at 4 o'clock, and we're going to go a little bit deeper tomorrow and the next day. So yeah, and if you're on Instagram, I would love to uh, go ahead and leave me a comment. And so again, this is 5 days of a journal prompt series of you finding your herbal path, like you really tracking your herbal path, right? When did it start? The chapters of when it started, the chapters of when did the plants really deeply call you. And now, today, we're talking about one plant that has really influenced your life. Okay, I think that's good. All right, thanks for joining me, and I look forward to reading all your comments and what else has come up with you. I'll go into the chat in Instagram after this is over and be interacting with you. And yeah, I love this conversation because we think that we have this garden or this plant hobby, and the plants are conscious. And the more we become conscious of how they're working with us, that's what this series is all about. So, all right, enjoy.